Hello again and welcome back to the lead pile. In this video I'm returning to my 6mm Game of Thrones project. So let's have a look and see where on the map will we be painting today.
It's the North. The North. The North is located at the north of Westeros, funnily enough, between the Neck and the Wall. The North was ruled by the Kings of Winter before Aegon's conquest when they bent the knee, and they're now wardens of the North, led by the Starks of Winterfell. The Starks have ruled for thousands of years, descended from the first of the First Men, and they worship the old gods. They're known for being stern and serious while just and honourable. They command great loyalty from their bannermen, notably Houses Manderly, Mormont, Umber and Reed, and they've long battled House Bolton of the Dreadfort, the main challengers to the Kings of Winter. In Game of Thrones, we follow the Starks as main protagonists, and so we spend quite a lot of time with them, and we get to see on the show a lot of their armour and warriors. Now, that Stark armour is different from other houses in the south. They don't rely on heavy metal plate so much as they do chainmail and leather gambesons, more suited to the climate. Now, the colour of leather varies depending on what stills you're looking at from the show. It's either a reddy orange brown, so a sort of Mornfang brown if you're using Citadel paints, or it's more of a grey brown, depending on how grim the picture is at that time. So I've decided to go for dryad bark as that kind of grey-brown colour when I'm painting my models. So without further ado, let's crack it open and get started. Now, the miniatures I'm using are 6mm of course, and these are from Bacchus. Now, these are their Viking range, and I believe these are warriors in armour. Now, although they're wearing chainmail here, because it's 6mm, if I paint it brown, it's going to look just fine for those indented, padded gambesons. So the first paint on the minis after their white base coat is that dryad bark. Now, this is quite a deep and dark, obviously, brown, but that's okay. It means I'm just going to slap it on, and I'm just going to cover all of the main chest and back of each of these miniatures to represent that gambeson. Now, once I've done that, I'm then painting the under tunic. Now, depending on which pictures you look at, Starks either have a kind of dark green, like a mossy green tunic, or they have grey. I've decided to go with grey, but you could use whatever you want. Heck, you could use pink if you wanted to. I've gone with grey, and I'm using Dawnstone. And so I'm just painting the sleeves, the arms, and painting the kind of skirt that runs around the bottom of that gambeson, and I'm painting the legs as well. Okay, and next I'm using Baneblade Brown, and I'm using that as a kind of paler, lighter shade of brown to paint in all of the spear shafts and any other wood. Now, it's wooden spears. You can use whatever shade of brown you want. I've gone for this kind of more yellowish undertone to contrast against the deeper colours of the rest of the model. What you see me painting now is the skin tone, and again, because it's 6mm, you can get away with a lot less. So I'm just using a bright Kislev flesh. You can use any pale, creamy skin tone, and I'm just going to blob that on for the hands and blob it on for the face as well. don't worry if you cover any hair with that, because that's the next step. And so for the hair, I've gone for scrag brown, which is a more rusty orange brown, again, so that it contrasts against that dryad bark gambeson. And I'm just using a thinner brush now to just carefully trace around the mouth and the back of the head to do the beards, big scruffy northerners, and the hair as well. And so all that's really left to do now is paint in the metallics. So I'm using lead belcher, but any sort of metallic colour will do. And I'm painting the helmets, the spear shafts, and those big round shields. Now, if you're a book reader, you might be saying, why are you painting big silver shields? But as I've said before, this is a project based on the TV show adaptation, which had those big metallic heavy shields. Were they big metal shields, or were they just silver painted wooden shields? Not too sure. Tell me in the comments below. But that's what I've gone for myself. And so just to kind of wrap it up now, you can see I'm painting on some highlights. So it's very simple with these minis. All I'm doing is using Gothor brown to kind of gently brighten up their shoulders and any jutting out parts of that brown gambeson. And then I'm using, I think, Stormhost silver, which is just a bright metallic, and I'm using that across the top of the shields and the very tops of those spears and helmets as well. Again, totally optional, but it does help make them pop. And with that, all that was really left to do was to slap on some wildwood contrast paint along the base and call it done. Although I did also then return with some Agrax Earthshade, and that's because I wanted to use a bit of a brown wash to dull down those metallic shields and metallic helmets, because I thought, well, these guys are in the north, it's kind of rough and moory. Chances are that these metallics aren't going to be crisp and shiny, so just a little bit of weathering. And there we have it, our finished unit of 6mm Game of Thrones House Stark. I really like how these guys turned out. I think the use of the Viking miniatures really works for the TV Stark aesthetics. I think painting brown the chainmail has worked perfectly fine as well, and I think when you look at them from a distance, they look just like the Starks in the TV show. It's kind of hard not to with those big metallic shields. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Has this worked? Do you prefer the book aesthetic? That's potentially something I could try and paint up as well. And let me know what house you would like to see me attempt next. Of course, this is just one unit. It's not even an entire unit, it's just one base. They come in strips of 4. The idea is that we'll have way more of these making up nice big armies on the table. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you again real soon.